Hello traders, this is Day Trader Matt with businesswithtrading.com doing an E-mini trading recap for the 16th October, Wednesday, and today was a pretty good day in the markets. We had a nice gap up followed by some pretty strong movement and then basically sideways into 12 o'clock. Today we had two trades and we pulled 6 points out of the markets. Our first trade we grabbed over here, rode that up a little bit, took profits up here, and as you can see it just kept going higher. Kind of watched this thing a little bit as it came down here. We did get long again and ended up taking profits up here. You can see the market did pull back again and it just rocketed higher. We were trying to get along down. We were trying to get along down here, and then we had to, take it a little bit higher, and that's what happened here. After taking this long here, we had some longs down here, and you can see that the market just did not pull back, didn't give it to us. So we basically missed two trades. One of them we did, bid a little higher for, but we did make the market come down to us rather than, bidding too high. And sometimes that's what happens. That you think the market's doing something, turns out it's not doing something, and you have to adapt. And that's really what trading's about. You have to adapt to the marketplace. And if you don't adapt to the marketplace, you're just going to get ran over. And you see, you've probably heard stories of a lot of traders made a lot of money and then they lost a lot of money after that. And it's because they were in tune with the markets and then they just became out of tune with them. They didn't adapt when the markets changed and the markets just ate them alive. And that's basically what's going to happen. You have to adapt to the market changes, and that's a good example of that. Our first trade, I thought the market was doing something else. It turned out it wasn't. So you have to adapt and maneuver with the market, and that's something that a lot of people can't do. Especially if you have a mechanical system, that system's not going to do that. So maybe you would have missed out on this trade here. What happens from time to time with me, sometimes I don't get into trades, sometimes I don't, take advantage of the entire trade, but that's kind of what happens. We're looking for some resistance up here, blew straight through it, and, it was very, very interesting to see. And, really that's what the market is. You have to move with it, you have to, ebb and flow with it, and at the end of the day, you want to be consistently positive. Today we pulled 6 points out. Definitely not too bad at all. Yesterday we did a point quarter. So that's 7.25 points that we pulled out in 2 days, 2.5 hours each day. Now, if you go one up in your contract sizing, that's 14.5. You go up 3 times in your contract sizing. And you can see how the results can definitely be magnified. I keep them small just because that's exactly what new traders do. New traders come in, they trade small. It's definitely possible to make a living out of trading, and that's what this website is supposed to show. That's the whole point, is to show that making a living from trading is definitely possible. And I think this industry has a lot of negatively biased jargon and products that kind of set new traders up to fail. These, just like the brokers, let me take your money, whether it be commissions or products or whatever, let me just take your money and then, there'll be someone else to take your place. And I don't think, I don't think it should be like that. I mean, wherever you are, there's going to be somebody out there that wants money. You know, the an old axiom is if you sit down at the table, you don't know who the sucker is, you're probably the sucker. You know, a table could be anything. I just use a table because it's a poker reference. You know, but trading's the same way. You know, if you kind of have to gauge where you're at and all of that. But anyway, that's something for a totally another topic. I could talk about that for a long, long time. But anyway, hopefully you got something out of what I was talking about today. Hopefully it made some sense. You can always leave comments below the video, or you can email me directly as well, support@abusinesswithtrading.com. There's no such thing as a dumb question. If you have a question, ask it. If you don't know the answer, definitely ask the question. I encourage you. With that, thanks for watching the video. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you back here in the markets. Thank you.